All right, so yeah, thank you very much for joining the call. It's going to be our fourth class together, or fifth class, if I remember correctly. And in the midst of those classes, we will be we consider the number of topics in this syllabus, and which has led us to where we are. And in the last class, I remember, if not the last or the one before the last, I remember telling us about the essence of all these things we're doing. And I have to remind you that we should pay serious attention to the early chapters of the syllabus so that so I have to remind you to pay serious attention to the early chapters of the syllabus so that you will not be left behind. And by the time we go into the more serious parts of the syllabus, you will understand what we are doing. You will also participate as expected, and you will not find it strange. Then you will be left behind. All right. So yes, can you hear me now? Is it clear now? Is it louder? Is it louder now? Can you say use the same channel and tell me if it's loud enough? All right, thank you. So today we'll be looking into yes, I want to be gentle today. Thank you for shortage of. All right, so today we'll be looking into accounting for labor. And when we're looking at accounting for cost elements, we're in chapter 5, if I remember well, I told us that there are three basic elements. There are three basic cost elements, and which is if an organization, whether a manufacturing organization or a service rendering organization, is to calculate the cost of what they do, whether the cost of what they produce for manufacturing organization, or the cost of the service they render, which is for service organization, we would realize that the cost will be broken down into three major areas. First is the material, then the second is the labor involved in performing that function, and then the third is the overhead. Overhead are costs that cannot be directly attributable to a particular production item, production line, or production function, but it's also essential to the making of the product, and it's also essential to the service that is being rendered. All right. I hope I'm not speaking to myself. Please confirm. Yes, we have 5 viewers on the live stream. Please
Yes,
confirm.
sir.
All right. Thank you very.
I can hear you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Remo Michael, you have a question before we even start? For time, we understand. All right. So today labor is one of the three major accounting elements, and today we'll be looking into accounting for labor. It's the second element. My colleague, Mr. Obon, will take one of the elements, that is the accounting for material. Under the topic of accounting material, we will understand how a management accountant handles material and how a financial accountant handles material. You will be comparing it with IS2 and the various policies for handling materials. Are we together? And also at the same time, you will be exposed to various methods through which materials can be accounted for. Various methods through which materials can be accounted for. FIFO, first in, first out, last in, first out, weighted average, and many other methods like that. We covered in chapter 6. But today we'll look at accounting for labor. All right, so labor consists of many things, and among them is basically what we calculate in labor cost is wages and salary, right? Wages and salary over time, employers' contribution, employee welfare, and other fringe benefits. Those are the things that we calculate when we are saying what is the cost of this labor. Right now, I know majority of you can define labor as one of the elements of production. Majority of you can define the elements of production as one of the, and define labor as one of the elements of production in the 4 elements of production. We have land labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So majority of you can define labor perfectly. And at the same time, we are not looking into what is labor majorly in this topic. This topic is focusing on how do you account for labor? How do you account for labor cost that an organization has incurred in the rendering of their services? All right. So how do you account for the labor? Those of you that your hand is up, I would give you time to speak later on. But in the meantime, you can use the chat box. All right. You can use the chat box. I will give you time to speak because I don't have much of time this evening. I want to see how we can cover within the time available to us. All right. Thank you. Okay. So when you calculate labor, there are certain things that you must take into consideration. Now, picture yourself now as an employer of labor. Picture yourself now as somebody who is recruiting, who is paying the salaries of some people, or you are calculating the amount you're going to pay to some people who has done some work for you. I get it. Now, there are in those amount that you're going to pay them, it can be categorized into two. We have the direct cost and the indirect cost. Direct cost are those costs that is the cost is incurred majorly because of the product. Direct cost refers to wages and related expenses that is incurred on personnel. That is incurred on personnel, incurred on. Please confirm you can see my screen. Please confirm you can see my screen. Yes, thank you. So, direct cost are other costs that are directly attributable to transformation of raw materials into finished goods or production of goods services. Those are direct costs. These costs are, you can trace them to a specific cost unit. You can trace them to a particular cost object. I hope you remember the definition of cost object that I gave you, right? I hope you remember the definition of the cost element, cost object, and other cost related terminologies that I gave you in the previous chapter. All right, so direct now is that particular kind of cost that you can trace directly. For example, you want to produce pure water. We've been using the example of pure water in our classes. And in production of pure water, the man that is packing the bags together, it's a direct labor. I get to know. It's a direct labor. The man that is responsible in handling the machine that is filling the sachets and that is sealing those bags, is also called it can be described as a direct labor. I go together now. Indirect labor are those that whose roles they support the production process. They provide administrative function. They provide administrative support. Those are the indirect labor. For example, your HR. HR is an indirect labor in the production of our pure water. What they do what? They support what we do in the production. Another form of indirect labor is mechanical repairs, the electrical repairs. Now, are they directly to one particular unit? No, but they are also production supports. Are you getting me? The services are so important that production will not go smoothly if they are not there. Production of goods and services or production of a particular product of the organization, or even if it's a service rendering firm, if it is a service rendering firm, the service will not be rendered successfully if those functions are not there. Now, those functions, they are not directly assigned to a particular product, but they are treated as important also because they are contributing to the success of service rendering. They are contributing to the success of production. So sometimes they are treated therefore as overheads. I'll get in. Now, there are certain terminologies, like I was saying earlier, that you must consider when you are calculating the cost of labor. There are certain terminologies that you must consider when you are calculating the cost of labor for an organization, whether you employ the service of an artisan to work for you in your house, whether you employ the service of somebody to do a thing for you. Are you getting me? Or perhaps you employ somebody to also teach you something, or there is a service or there is a product you are making By the time you are trying to calculate the cost of that item, in management accounting, there are certain things that must be calculated when you are calculating the cost of labor. Number one is idle time. Idle time. I told you when we started this topic that there are certain things that make up the cost of labor. Number one among them, when you're looking at the cost of labor, is the salaries and wages of the labor of the employees. That is number one thing, number one area you can source for your cost of labor. Fringe benefits, like for example, the maybe you give them free meals, right? You provide transportation to them. Those ones are fringe benefits. The cost of all those benefits you are giving them, if you are providing a free meal, you are paying for the meal on their behalf. You're paying for the meal on their behalf. If you are providing transportation or services for them, transportation support to your staff, you are paying for the transport on your behalf. The transport services is a cost to the organization. Can you mute your mic? Thank you very much. So the service you're rendering is a cost to the organization. Now, in that situation, in that scenario, what happens is you look at how much does it cost you to give them the opportunity. That cost of that service you are rendering is going to form part of your cost of labor. Are we together? Now, training and development cost also form part of your cost of labor. You are sending your employee, you can't be sending your employee to go and develop themselves on certain training or certain courses. Those kind of opportunities come at a cost. It improves the human capital of the organization. Yes, really it has benefits to both the employee and to the employer. Yes, but it comes at a cost. So by the time an organization is saying this is the amount they are spending on their staff, this is the amount that is coming as labor cost in their financial statement, you would understand that as a management accountant, when you are providing management report, your own report will convey a breakdown. Your own report will convey a breakdown of the labor cost into the various line items that make up the labor cost. Are we together? If you're following me, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you are really there. Okay. Thank you. So whatever, and you can hear me clearly, right? Thank you. So back to what I was saying. By the time you understand those costs, you would realize that there are certain terminologies that you must bear in mind when you are calculating the labor cost. And when you do the sources or how far you're able to measure and bear in mind these terminologies will determine how reliable the figures of your labor cost will be able to help you measure the impact of that labor cost on the organization. And one of those terminology is idle time. Idle time. Idle time is when employees cannot work, right? Because there is no work to do. It is not their fault. They are paid. They are available to work, but they are not doing any work. That is idle time. It is a time that the organization is losing money. The organization has paid them. They are available to work, but there is no active work enough for them to do. It is a non-productive time. It constitutes a form of labor inefficiency. And sometimes you can classify them as indirect labor cost because it does not contribute to specific unit of production. Why is it like that? It is because it is an idle time. Able to work, they are ready to work, they've been paid to work, but there is no work enough to engage them with. Are we getting it? There are different things that could cause this idle time. One of such is perhaps there is an equipment downtime. Equipment downtime can cause idle time. Material shortages can cause idle time. There is no material. Ineffective production scheduling can cause idle time. Utility interruptions, operational delays can cause idle time. Now, idle time has its own financial implication and they are not favorable to the organization. As an employer of labor, you cannot be happy when you are paid people and they do not work. You can't be happy. You can't be happy. So at that point, your money is not giving you enough yield. It's not yielding enough benefit for you. But then, as another, if you look at it from another perspective, when employees have been paid and they can work and they are not working, it can help them to recover. It can help them to recover. So, as a management accountant, you must be able to interpret every idle time situation to fit the profit of the organization. So, it will be an opportunity for the staff to recover, perhaps they've had the long hours of stress and all of that. So, in management accounting, idle time is not what you can totally overlook, nor what you can term as an adverse financial implication. At the same time, yes, good night, ma. As much as adverse as it might be, it is also can yield certain positive benefits for the organization. So when there is work and they've been paid to work, they are bound to remain within the facilities of the organization, and thereby they can use the time for some self-development activities. So from a cost accounting perspective, idle time is not tied to a particular job, and by so doing, they are indirect costs. Are you getting me? They are indirect costs. Another thing we should consider as another thing we can consider as another very important concept when calculating labor cost is overtime. Overtime. Now, I'm taking these two scenarios because one, when an organization employ labor, when they employ employees, they've given them a contract, they've given them an offer, right? The offer contains the amount they will pay them. So your cost of labor of wages and salaries are already clear. Is that correct? Your cost of fringe benefits are already clear. Your cost of other benefits that they might enjoy from the organization, like bonuses, it's already clear. It's already stipulated. You already have a figure for it. The organization already has a figure for if you're giving car to an employee, other form of incentives, right? But to calculate idle time, is it easy? No. Are you getting what I'm saying? It's not easy to calculate an idle time for an employee. The same way, it is not also easy to calculate overtime. Yes, there are organizations they've come up with different methods to calculate overtime, and with time there are different methods now that you can use to calculate an overtime. So by the time you're in an environment and you are seeing a labor-related question, calculating idle time, calculating overtime will not be strange to you. These are areas where examiners will test your knowledge of how to account for labor. The examiner wants to make sure you know that you, that is a management accountant, you know the various makeups, you know the various things that are needed in calculating for labor. Are we together? If we're together, let me know who we are together. You can use the thumbs up, Olumide, Oguntodo, Rachel. Okay, thank you very much. All right, now, overtime arises when you have told them to work and they've worked. They are supposed to go home, but you say they should not go home. Are you getting it? Or they cannot go home because there is more work to do. Then you have overtime. So when an employee renders services beyond their standard agreed time in their contract, then anything extra they do can be termed as overtime. Let me give you an instance. On the time of the organization says they should close by 5 o'clock, right? They should close by 5 o'clock. If they now stay beyond 5 o'clock, if every hour that they stay beyond that 5 o'clock will be treated as an overtime. So compensation for overtime includes overtime premium, which is the incremental hour paid above the basic wage rate. Now, you now look at, so the total labor cost of labor for an employee now will include, number one, the basic amount they are supposed to get from their normal employment, the normal contract, what the contract states for them, the basic ones. And then you would also look at how much they get extra in overtime. Then you look at how much would they get extra in bonus. If an employee is supposed to earn 1,000 naira for working for 8 hours for you, they're supposed to earn 1,000 naira for working for 8 hours for you, and then you tell them if they can do that 8 hours fully, you give them bonus of 15 naira. Now, you now tell them that if they want to work overtime, each hour of the overtime is 100 naira. I get me. So they worked for 8 hours, which is 1 day, 1,000 naira. They now went ahead and did 10 hours. So how much are you paying them in total? Number one, you are paying them their basic 1,000 naira for the 8 hours first. Number two, they've done the 8 hours completely. They are entitled to a bonus of how much? 15 naira. Then you now have told them that for every hour extra that they've done, they'll be paid 100 naira per hour. So they've done 2 hours extra. How much are you going to now pay them? How much are you going to pay them now? If you are really following, let me see that. Let me see. Let me start calling names now. Tony Goodness, how much would you eventually pay them for this example I'm giving you? Tony Good, okay. Adeyemi Marvelous, how much are you going to now pay them? How much are you going to pay the employee? 8,000 to 50. How? 1,000 for 8 hours. Then extra 15 naira, extra 100 naira in 2 places. How did that give you 8,000 to 50? Are you love is higher? Can you bail us out? Okay. 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 I'm seeing some responses on the chat box. All right. I want more. I want more. Francesca, are you with us? Florence, are you with us? Then Funke. This one is not Funke Akindele. This is Funke Akimboyewa. Are you with us, Funke?
I'm with you, sir.
All right, perfect. So how much are you going to pay the employee at the end of the day? How much are you going to pay the employee for that? Okay, I'm asking you. Oh, Funke has left us again. Okay. Oguntulu Rachel, how much are you going to now pay the person? Are you with us, Rachel? Are you with us? Ola the Wolf Additional. Are you with us? Ola Gunju Orelowa. Some of you are just here ghosting the class. Well,
Can you just repeat the question again?
you were not really following. That is just the simple answer. You were not really following. All right, I will repeat the question. And the question is, okay, let me give you another question. I will be getting it. Maybe for somebody worked for 46 hours. Somebody worked for 46 hours, and this includes 8 hours of overtime. And the basic rate is 1,000 naira per hour. Overtime is now paid at a time and a half. How much would the basic pay of the person be? The person worked for 46 hours, and you are paying 1,000 naira per hour. How much would the basic pay of the person be? Hello, Madam Francesca. Can you hear my question now?
I can hear the question. I'm trying to calculate.
You're trying to wrap your head around it. All right. I said somebody worked for, let me see if I can drop it on the, okay, no, let me see if I can put it on the chat box. Give me the name of somebody here. Raji worked for 46 hours, right? Pay is 1K per hour. I hope all of you are checking the chat box. Then overtime, Raji did overtime of 8 hours at 1,000 naira per hour. Raji did overtime of 8 hours. Let me see, at 500 naira per hour. How much will Raji get? All right. How much will Raji get paid? Raji 46 hours at 1K per hour. Right? Raji gets, somebody said Raji gets 50,000. Raji gets 46,000. Is that correct? Okay. I'm seeing different answers. Call you to explain yourself. You will tell me how you got your 50,000 or 46,000. Okay. You will soon tell me how you got your number of. Okay. This is said overtime is 4,000. All right. Yusuf Azizat, how much would Raji get? Yusuf.
Yes, sir. 50K, sir.
50,000, sir. 50,000.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much for the response. I think everybody is now following. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for that. Now, how do you record labor cost? How do you record labor cost? Labor cost can be recorded using payroll, number one, using the payroll. Then number two is using the timesheet. When you're using payroll, you identify the employee and then you identify the ones that are providing direct labor and those that are providing indirect labor. And then you now charge the amount that each person is supposed to get to their name. Do you get what I'm saying? Are you following? You look like you're using payroll, you identify all your employees, you categorize them to direct and indirect labor employees, and then you now look at the amount each person is supposed to get based on the calculation we just did now and post it in front of their name. You can also use timesheets. You can also use timesheets, right? Now, timesheets helps you to, well, majority of you have done the work of teacher before, where you have to sign attendance when you enter the school in the morning. And when you are closing, you have to write your time out, time in, time out. Yes, timesheet is just like that. At the end of the month, the payroll person says, we'll go there, um, pick up the time book, and then calculate the number of hours you have worked, and they pay you by the number of hours you have worked. That is timesheet. So payroll accounting is a very, very important part where that you must understand. You must understand how it is done. And also the double entry necessary. It is important that you also make sure it obeys the rule of double entry. So within a cost accounting system, indirect labor and direct labor are recorded and charged to appropriate cost centers and cost units. And cost centers here are what? The department that is housing the cost, that is incurring the cost. I get me. The unit that is incurring the cost, that is the cost unit. And the records are included within the double entry accounting, cost accounting system, where whatever it is, whenever you are preparing, you are recording your labor cost. You must record it in line with the principles of double entry. You must record it in line with the principles of double entry. So that is why in payroll and country entries, you realize that for the majority of year salary earners, you realize that we have gross earnings. Then certain deductions start to come in, and then now start seeing the net earnings. Before you arrive at that gross earnings, you must have taken into consideration all these examples that we have cited, where you take into consideration the basic pay, the overtime, bonuses, and every other benefits that the employee is supposed to get. Are we following? Give me your thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we are going into remuneration methods now. Remuneration methods in accounting for labor. Accounting for labor. Remuneration methods. So remuneration method is just saying how do you remunerate? Period. That's it. How do you pay? Remuneration means compensation. How do you disperse your compensation? Like I said the other time, you can use time-based payments. Time-based payments. Time-based payments are you look at hours worked multiplied by the rate per hour. So, like I told the example we gave earlier on, somebody is working for 1K per hour and the person works 46 hours, how much will the person get? Basic pay, 46,000 naira. Are we together? Basic pay, 46,000 naira. Then that is hourly rate. This time-based system has its advantages and disadvantages. Time-based system has advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of time-based system. The advantages of time-based system includes predictability. Predictability. You can easily say, okay, this is the amount this person is going to earn. This is the amount we are going to pay in your labor cost for this particular period. It helps you, it gives you an idea. It gives the business an idea to be able to budget how much they are going to pay. And it helps the organization to control quality. It gives you an opportunity to make your compensation structure more equitable. It gives your organization that kind of advantage. It stabilizes the earnings of the employees. You already know the amount you're going to earn at the end of your work of an employee. You already know the amount you're going to earn. You already know you're not earning beyond the XYZ amount. You already know exactly the amount you're going to earn. That is one of the advantage of time-based system. But it has its advantage. Number one is there will be idle time. You already know that you have come in the morning. You sign in the morning, right? You clock in or you write your time attendance in the morning. In the evening, you will go. So whatever happens in the afternoon is none of your business. Idle time, as an employee, you cannot be doing any of your business, but then the company will pay for that idle time because the company is not getting any productive benefit from those hours. Then there will not be motivation to really be innovative. The company will start with scoff, diminishing employee motivation. Employees will not really be motivated because they know, that will come as also time and when we get XYZ amount of money. So we also have fixed work remuneration system, where it is the output that you deliver that will give you the rate that you'll be paid. Most of you who are doing sales job, you are going to be paid your commission on your total payment is heavily dependent on how much of sales you deliver. Are you getting me? So maybe you work in a factory and you say in our pure water company, for example, and your KPI is saying you'll be paid by the number of bags that you bring out that you can put together. So if you give us 20 bags, we pay you for that 20 bags. Is that clear? Wallace, is that clear? This work rate system, is that clear? All right. So this work has its own advantages and disadvantages too. It has its own disadvantages and advantages. Advantages is that you would want to get more out of the system. You would be encouraged to want to do more. You'll be encouraged to want to, because you know that this is what you get, you will pay. This is what you do that you get paid about. So with that, you will not be confined to the work hours. You will be motivated to go outside the work hours and deliver. I'm guessing that is why people would wake up in the night and be calling the customers and making sure that they turn their cold customers into one customer, they make sales because they know that their commission will be heavily dependent on that. And then disadvantage of that is, one of the disadvantages of that is you might not get quality because everybody wants to give you their numbers. Even if, for example, a salesman, even if the customer they are selling to today will not be able to pay finish, all of those who are, let me use an example, those realtors, right, who are selling land for people and the people would, or let me use a product like, let me use a pure water company, for example, the one we've been using since the beginning. So let me use a pure water, for example, now. Let's say Chizoba, right, is our sales manager, and Chizoba's compensation. Chizoba Nandi, are you with us? Give me your thumbs up or you wave. Yes, thank you very much. So let's say Chizoba is our sales manager, and Chizoba has been given a mandate to sell 100 bags of water in a week. 100 bags of water in a week. So Chizoba's pay, or let's say, for example, in the time-based payment, Chizoba's pay. Just a moment, please. Just a moment. Yes, thank you. I'm back. Can you confirm you can hear me now? Thank you. Olashade, Diana, Elizabeth. Yes, thank you very much. I feel, yes, I know I know I'm not alone. All right, so I was talking about its advantages of peace work remuneration system, right? And I was giving the example that Chizoba is our sales manager, and Chizoba now has been told to come to the office at 8 o'clock and close by 5 o'clock or by 4 o'clock. So when I choose about sales, I'm trying to give you the difference between the time-based and the piece work rate, right? Now, if choose about sales, choose about will be paid at the end of the month, they are great fees. Let's say choose about salary is 40,000 naira at the end of the month. Oh, no, let me not use, let me use the minimum wage, which is 70,000. So choose about salary is 70,000 at the end of the month. So whether choose about sales or not, choose about will get salary. That is time-based system. Are we together? Great. Yes, thank you. Now, his work rate now says, okay, well, we're not going to pay you salary, we'll pay you by bags that you sell. Chizoba now will be getting, let's say Chizoba getting 40 naira or 50 naira on every bag that is sold. What do you think Chizoba will do? What do you think Chizoba will do?
More hardworking.
What do you say? Just friend. What do you think
She'll be
Chizoba will
more
do?
hardworking. She'll try to sell as much bags as possible so that her pay is going to be much.
Thank you. Samuel Akin, what do you think Chizoba will do? Samuel Akin. All right. Ruth Nwanuri, what do you think Chizoba will do? Rebecca or Shufisan, what do you think Ruth will do? What do you think Chizoba will do? Okay. Yeah. Rebecca, I can't hear you if you're speaking.
I'm a sister.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, she will need to put in more effort so that she can make more sales.
Great stuff.
And
All right.
at the end of the day, gets more commission.
Gets more commission. That is the difference between piecework commission system and time-based system. I hope we get that part now. I hope that part is clear. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Farr. Thank you, Chizoba. All right, so that is a very, very good one from you. I guess so. Then there are other incentives that can be calculated along the line based on what the organization provides to you that the organization can use to pay up their employees, right? That the employees can use to get more money from the organization. Now, I want to quickly talk about labor turnover before we call it a day. We're supposed to have ended the class. But let me quickly talk about labor turnover. All right. Labor turnover is the number of employees who leave their job during the period of evaluation to whatever reason, right? Now, let me give you this example. Where do you, let's say some of in our pure water company, right? We're using our pure water company now this time around. We have 10 employees at the beginning of the year. Are you following me? We have 10 employees at the beginning of the year, and that's at the beginning of this year, January 1, 2025. We had 10 employees. Great. Now, at the end of the year, we now have 15 employees. 15 employees. Are you getting what I'm saying now? At the end of the year, we have what? 15 employees. What is our labor turnover? To calculate our labor turnover at that point, we'll now look at, okay, what is the number of employees leaving? What is the number of employees that are employed during the period? And then we'll multiply by 100. I'll get this. So first is that, what is the total number of employees that left? Did anybody left the organization? Let's say 3 people left. Are we together? Number of employees that left the organization, 3 people left, right? We've determined the amount. Now we'll now say, what is the average number of employees within the period? At the beginning of the period, we had 10 employees. At the end of the period, we have 15 employees. Average is what? 10 plus 15 divided by 2. So what is the average? Oh, yeah. Oh.
Sorry, please, sir. Can you come again? Can you repeat?
Hey, all of you asking me to repeat. Are you really following?
12.5.
So I said that average means opening, beginning, and end divided by 2, right? At the beginning of the period, we have 10 employees. At the end of the period, we have 15 employees, which means that 5, we have increased by 5. But inside that increase, 3 people left the business. Are you getting me? That is what led us to recruiting more. Now, the number of people that joined, the number of people that left the business is how many people? 3. Average employees in that period is 12.5. That is 10 plus 12, 10 plus 15 divided by 2. That is 12.5. So 3 over 12.5 divided by 100. How do you get that? What is the answer? What is the answer? 3 over 12.5 divided by multiplied by 100. What is the percentage? We're looking at turnover rate here.
24.
24%. Yes. That is how to calculate labor turnover rate. What you just need is labor turnover is simply looking at how employees come in and go. Are you getting it? There are favorable and unfavorable labor turnover, right? Labor turnover can be adverse, it can be favorable. And how do you know which of them it is? You can know if it is high or low. If it is high, you will know. You look at the implication, and then you can now guide the organization as a management accountant on what to do to improve labor turnover rate. So labor turnover means it encompasses, people can leave for whatever reason. People can leave, maybe they are old, they want to retire, or they are taking another job, or the organization is not good enough for them. They can leave. Now, people can also leave because they resign, they transition to other employment. For whatever reasons, it can be good and it can be bad. So labor turnover encompasses both the good and bad reasons why people move out of a job or people move into the job. So if the labor turnover ratio is high, it might mean that there are inefficiencies or there are negative things happening in the organization that is causing employees to perform suboptimally, right? That is if the labor turnover is high. If the rate at which people come in and go is high, then there is something wrong in the organization. It's a pointer to a negative event happening. But if the turnover rate is low, then you can say, okay, there is something the organization is doing very rightly. For example, maybe they are contributing to the overall positive or overall productivity of the business, or maybe they are you're impacting, you are possibly contributing to their well-being. So those are the things that would cause the labor turnover to behave whatever it behaves altogether. There are different causes of labor turnover, and I've explained to you causes of labor turnover. You must understand labor turnover itself. Labor turnover means people coming in, people going out of the job. Labor turnover rate means the rate at which those events happen, the rate at which people come in and go out of the job. I will follow what I'm saying. I hope you are putting the distinction to these terminologies. Labor turnover itself means people coming in and leaving, people joining a job and leaving out of that job within a time. That's turnover. Turnover rate means the rate at which it happens, how frequent, how high, how low it happens. We are trying to now put measurement into the migration of people in and out of an organization. That is labor turnover rate. Are we together? Now, labor turnover rate can now be high, it can be low. If it is high, it's a pointer to certain negative things happening, certain wrong things happening, certain inefficiencies happening. But if it is low, it's a pointer to the fact that, okay, yes, when the organization is doing fine, they are doing, they pay the employees well, they treat them nice, they respect them, and all the other benefits like that. That's what happens when you have low turnover rate. Do you understand? And what are the things that causes them? We've talked about all those causes of turnover rate. As a management accountant, you should be ready to advise your organization about how to manage labor turnover. How to manage labor turnover. Now, to manage labor turnover, there must be an employee improvement. Employee improvements, that will create a good career progression for them, and various other benefits that they stand to enjoy in being a member of the organization that they work for. Are we together? So the involuntary reasons, the different reasons as to why labor can be migrating in and out have been discussed in our class today. So, in trying to bring the lesson to a close, today we've talked about labor, accounting for labor. We talked about the meaning of labor. We talked about how to account for it. That is to say, how to put a cost to it and the various ways it can be recorded. The various ways that the cost that you have put on labor can be recorded. And what are the things that make up that cost that we're ever recording? We talked about these things that make up the cost that is being recorded and how it can be recorded following the various accounting entries, the double entry principle, and so on and so forth. We've also talked about remuneration of labor. We've talked about labor turnover. So that will bring the class of today to an end. Within 5 minutes, I want to open the floor for questions. If you have questions, please raise up your hand. Let us address questions. Maybe later in the week, I will drop a classwork for us on labor on this topic. I'll drop a question for us to solve and test our knowledge, test our hands with it. All right, Kelechi Temple, go ahead, please.
Good evening, everyone. Please, I have a question. My question is according to our updated timetable, the class is scheduled for 8 p.m. But I didn't know that we started much more earlier. I don't know. Was there a change of time?
There is
Because
not.
I came in very late.
Yes. All right. So there is no change of timetable. The timetable is prepared based on the convenience of the tutors. Do you understand? The timetable is prepared to make life easy for the tutors, and also for you to also be able to know when the classes are coming. The most important thing is that you know that we're going to have management accounting today. And if you have been conversant with our classes from the beginning of this diet, you would agree with me that for those who have been joining our classes, we usually have management accounting around this time, 7 o'clock, sometimes 7:30, especially for my classes. This is the time I prefer because it helps me do other things after I finish with this class, right? So, because
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
I'm still in the office. I have to stay back so that I can have this class. All right, so that so that is about that. We need to really so we apologize for any inconvenience that explain about, but just bear with us. And we have the recordings on their YouTube links so that you can go over them again at your convenience. If there is a part you missed out, maybe you joined late or perhaps you were in the class and the network threw you out and you joined and you said some things before you could join again, whatever, you can just go back to the YouTube channel, YouTube link, and replay the classes again. All right, Rosemary, don't say you just came in. Oh. Don't say you just came in. Oh. You can easily use the YouTube class to catch up. Don't say you just came in. All right, Rosemary, want to say
Okay,
anything?
sir. Good
You
evening,
didn't raise up
sir.
your hand. You didn't raise up your hand, Linus.
Oh, sorry about that, sir.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, sir. Yeah, mine is not actually a question. Concerning what you just the lesson you just passed. I just wanted to ask because by the time you started, you said Mr. Ubong is going to take. I think you made mention of the topic. Mr. Ubong is going to take something management. Sorry, um, accounting
Accounting
for
for material.
manufacturing
No, for
or
material.
material.
Yes.
Okay, so okay, I wanted to know which chapter would that be, and then I
If
would
you
also
if
love
you,
to
you can
know.
check the chapter from your study pack. The study pack has been posted to the WhatsApp group, and if you don't
Yeah,
have them, you can easily check the ICANN website for the study pack. Or
I have.
after
I will
now,
check.
yes, you can check the study pack for the topic um, of that. Yes.
Okay, also your next class, can you please
Okay.
just give us an hint the area you're going to be
You have the
treating, which chapter?
oh, okay.
Yours, so that we can
I'll
prepare
look into
ahead.
that. I'll look into that.
All right, thank you. That's what I have.
You're welcome. Any other question? Any other question? Rosemary, big data will be treated in due course. Just stay glued. We are moving at a very, very reasonable speed. If you can follow us at that tempo, you would get everything you're supposed to get. Just don't be ahead. Just follow us, right? Let us lead you. Thank you very much.
Sorry, sir.
I appreciate your
Sir.
Let's choose over.
Good evening, sir. Please,
Yes.
can we be using this platform for the lectures? Because most times if we use that YouTube, I don't really hear, I don't even speak.
We
I don't
always use
see,
this platform.
I don't,
We use Google
okay, we
Meet
always
for
use this because it's better to
yes,
hear.
yes, because
Thank you, sir.
the Google Meet can now accommodate more than 100 at a time, right? So every extra
Okay.
that we have, direct them to the YouTube. As you are viewing it here, as you're asking this question, those of you who those who are the YouTube are also seeing you, they are also hearing you live, and they're hearing you live. Instead, do you understand? Perhaps maybe what you want to reference as to, but it's better if you have well some network problems.
Thank you, sir.
Please mute your mic. All right. Who else? Thank you, Ajayi. Officer. Yes, the timetable will be shared. I didn't hear. All right. So, is there any other question? Is there any other question? So, while viewers on YouTube, let me see if there is a question you guys typed there so that I can address it once and for all. Viewers on YouTube, thank you very much for staying with us. Um, thank you for being patient. We appreciate all you are doing. And yes, let me see the question. Okay, so I think that is where we are today. I don't think there is any question on the YouTube channel. I don't think there is any question. Yes, thank you for participating. Thank you very much, everyone, for okay, hold on. So